welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Killerama89. That's Killerama89, and he's driving the M5 Stuart on a standard battle on the Abbey. M5 Stuart being the tier 4 light tank for the Americans. And this tank's kind of fallen a little bit out of favour since the introduction of the much higher tiered scouts. Now that you get tier 6, 7 and 8 light tanks, you don't really see the tier 4 scouts very often. Generally only see them when someone's grinding their way through to get a different tank. So it's a little bit nice, a little bit of a change to see a tank like this. T25-2 just trying to barge his way through there, got no respect for the light tanks. As you can see as well by the front of the tank, he's got that 75mm howitzer loaded up there, which just means that even in tier 7 battles like this, you can still cause some damage to some opponents without having to get a penetrating hit. And as you can see by the scoreboard, quite a lot of... Oh, sees his Chinese counterpart over there. Can he pick himself up some free damage and maybe a quick kill on one of the only targets he can penetrate? And indeed he can. One shot, one kill so far. Perfect record. So yeah, as you can see by the scoreboard, quite a lot of tank destroyers on the enemy team. Well, on both teams really, which just means there should be some good opportunity for himself to get some spotting damage onto people. You would expect that a lot of those tank destroyers will be camped in and around the base. As you can see, Killerama just being pretty smart there, just sitting in the middle of the square there until his team gets further down the coast road on the right-hand side. And then once the enemy team is distracted with that, he can use that distraction to then try and lay some damage onto the enemy. You see the enemy's Nashorn just turn-tailing and running there. And the other good thing is if they do win the battle on the coast road, he can then spot for his teammates coming in. Oh, gets a good hit on that Panzer Soufflé there, penetrating his paper-thin side armour. Probably not going to be as lucky with the SU-152, but spots out the Bishop instead. A little bit unlucky to miss there. The howitzer's not very accurate. Gets a good hit on the Bishop there. Not quite penetrating his armour. Just trying to hit that SU-152 as he backs off. Knows that he's probably got damage on the Bishop all day. A little bit unfortunate not to be penetrating the artillery's armour here. He's obviously got some armour. So this howitzer not really going to do any damage, considering I think it's only got about 30 or 40 points of penetration. Oh, very nice. Gets 192 damage on him there. T1 Heavy YOLOing in. Going to see if he can get some damage on this Wolverine. Now, the Wolverine's only got thin armour as well, but as you can see, he's kind of at a funny angle there, which means that a lot of these shots are just going to bounce and not penetrate. Oh, lovely. Able to put one through the back of his turret there. One more shot, and that is kill number 4 for a tier 4 scout in a tier 7 battle. You can see a Nashorn just set up at the bottom there, looking towards his own base and the advancing enemy team. And then just gets shot in the head for his trouble. And that is kill number 5 now for Killerama. So it looks like they've convincingly won the battle for the coast road. As you can see, the team moving in there. But now he's got to turn his attention to the allied base, as the enemy's pushing in there with a Tiger 1 and a Hellcat. And it looks like a 3601 on the hill. So the... Allied tank destroyer is not having a good time of this defense. Hopefully Killerama can come around the back and help make a difference. That Hellcat's kind of down on the lower ground here on the right hand side. Just going to have to watch out for him. Just because he's able to kick out a decent amount of damage. Unfortunately for him, he's got no armour to speak of. So a good hit from this howitzer is going to be able to penetrate him. Just trying to take a shot on the turret of the Tiger, but it looks like he's just hidden. Allied Nashorn comes around the corner, going to leave some of the work to him, and he's able to take out the Hellcat no problem. Only got 19 hit points left on this Tiger 1 here, but as you can see, the armour of the Tiger 1 is so thick that even these high explosive shells... There we go, finally finding a slightly weaker part of the armour. And his high explosive shells finally able to do some damage and take him out. And that's kill number 6 and almost certainly his Top Gun medal. Just going to keep this 3601 spotted, so these allies can lay some serious damage down onto his face. And there we go. AT-7 takes him out with the help of Kilorama's spotting. So it looks like the ill-fated attack on the coast road didn't actually work out in the end, so we're going to have to drop back to the centre, see if we can spot some people, and then they can re-engage. But this is looking a little bit hairy at the moment, because it's 11 to 11 in kills, and the enemy team has, on paper, the more powerful tanks, especially with that E-25 and the Su-152. The two of those are going to be able to wreak havoc if they're not careful. The artillery, the allied artillery, taking an advanced position here. Not really too sure why. This Su-152 spotted out, has his shot and missed, so just going to take his time with this one. Going to try and get some damage on him. Unfortunately, the front armour of the Su a little bit too thick. The high explosive shells not even really doing any damage. Does 11 damage but takes a lot back in return. Just pretty lucky that the Su didn't one-shot him there, because the M5 Stuart only has 340 hit points here. So it looks like the enemy artillery is not really able to do anything about this. The Allied AT-8 is coming straight down the centre there, going to try and help even things up. The artillery's dropped back to their own base, which is a smart move. Kilorama is going to try and get spots on people. Finds the second artillery piece. Has a nice sneaky shot through the wreck there. Going to see if he can get a second one. Indeed he can. That almost certainly hit, even though he faded back into the fog of war. Shot the pillar right in front of him there. Finally does able to get eyes back on the M41. There we go. Gets a penetrating hit. 140 damage. Takes him out and kill number 7. So the AT-8 didn't quite manage to make it through the centre there. Gets himself taken out. But as you can see, the Su now on low health. Got to be careful though, because it looks like that Su did have a shot on him. I think he fired there as well. So they're both moving along this road here to try and cut off the square, so that Kilorama's got nowhere to go. Although Kilorama has a small and thin enough tank to be able to fit through these little walkways. So just going to line himself up, ready to run away, and going to aim his gun at the only approach. Decides that discretion is the better part of valor, and just decides to run the hell away right now. Not wanting to leave this one to chance. So just going to set himself up under the wall here. Going to see if we can get some proxy spots on this T-25-2 as he comes in. And hopefully the artillery and his allied AT-7 may be able to lay some damage down on him. Got to be careful here, because he is only one shot from death. Although in this Tier 7 game he was mostly one shot from death, even when he had full hit points. Spots that Su-152. Going to see if the allied AT-7 can do anything about him. Well, doesn't matter, because the Lorraine piles in there and is able to take him out. Although he starts getting shot by the E-25, which is moving in on base. Going to see if that AT-7 can do anything about this. Looks like he spun himself around. Kilorama's got no shot on that E-25, and with the AT-7 looking the other way, he's kind of on his own. So he starts to make his way back to the base, just in case his help is needed. Still doesn't have a shot on this E-25, but if the E-25 wants to come over the hill to get a shot on him, although it looks like that T-25-2 is now shooting him in the rear, so Kilorama may have to go up and try and distract him, just because he's going to need that ally in order to win this game, really. He's not going to be able to take both the E-25 and the T-25-2 out, especially not with only one shell left and the rest premium rounds. That AT-7 still looking pretty healthy though. Still playing it careful. Spots another little cubby hole. Going to see if he can get through this one, because that T-25-2 still firing at the AT-7. Oh, unfortunately, there's just a little bit of a lip there. He's not really able to get himself open. Finally, the AT-7 takes out that T-25. And he's going to be able to spin... the E-25. And he's going to be able to spin around and get his front armor back on target. So this T-25-2 hopefully shouldn't be able to penetrate him anymore. AT-8 started to open fire now on this T-25. So he decides to run away. And Killer Armor going to come around to the little side exit that he used earlier. Going to see if he can get a shot or at least a spot on this T-25. And hopefully the two of them, the AT-7 and himself, should be able to work him down. To be honest, if this T-25's smart, he really should just run away and get into a position where the AT-7 can't fire upon him. And then he can take out the M5 of Killer Armor and then move on to flanking around this AT-7. So we're going to see if that's what he does. Or if he's just going to blindly assault the base and get taken out from the rear. Gotta play it carefully here, because he's not sure if he's been spotted himself. We've got 3.5 minutes on the clock, so we can afford to play this one a little bit cautiously, especially with the two of them left. At the moment, they have the upper hand, just because there is two of them, but they really need to know where this T-25-2 is. Not 100% sure where he went. Oh, there he is, down in the valley. He's almost certainly been spotted himself. Fires off his last HE round. He's still got 400 and some hit points left. And he has decided to assault the base himself. But it looks like he's concentrating on the position of this M5 Stuart, which means that the AT-8, 7 even, hopefully should be able to get into position to fire. And indeed he has. The T-25 spins his gun around and gets himself taken out by the faster firing gun of that AT-7. So absolutely awesome replay there from Killer Armor, getting 1,300 damage and a monster 7 kills in a tier 7 battle. So thank you very much for sending that one in. Stick around because, as always, the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is for on the user Royal Ordnance. That's Royal Ordnance, and he's driving the KV-13 on a standard battle on the steppes. KV-13 being the tier 7 medium tank for the Russians. Not a tank you see very often, considering it leads on from the KV-1S. And a lot of people just kind of assume that the KV-1S is the pinnacle of that tank branch and kind of just stop there and don't research anything after. But this thing, when used correctly, can be a pretty good tank. Obviously, it doesn't have the 122mm that the KV-1S has, but it does inherit the kind of the maneuverability and the speed that it has. So it's a good little medium tank, and it can be pretty troll. I mean, if you have a look at that front plate there, it's pretty nicely sloped. The one with the driver's hatching, not so nicely sloped, but the preceding plate in front of it is pretty damn good. Spots out a... what is that? It's a Chi-Ri by the looks of it. Going to get a nice hit on him. So as you see, the cannon does do a decent amount of damage. Not loads, but decent. Chi-Ri still... oh, there we go. Finally exited the battlefield. Going to see if we can get a shot on this Jagdpanzer 4. Just about hitting the dirt there. A little bit unfortunate because the 3601 was that, just came into view, so probably should have just held off for a second. And would have been able to get a shot on him. Very nice hit on the very top of that Chi-Ri's commander hatch. But he is taking damage from the right-hand side, so we're going to decide to relocate a little bit further to the left. When you spawn on the northern base, this position here is just fantastic for getting damage onto people. A little bit unfortunate to miss the 3601 there. Should have spent a little bit longer aiming, but I mean, I'm guilty of that as well. You just get a little bit too greedy for the kill and think, I'll take my shot now. There's not much chance of missing, and then you miss and rage and are sad. So we're going to be advancing up to behind the rock here. Not stopping for breath though, has another shot at the Chi-Ri. Looked like you could see more of him than he actually could when he went into sniper mode. Turns out that actually most of his tank's hidden. There we go. Comes into view a little bit now. Unfortunately just bounces on the top of that turret. Let's actually have a look what his penetration's like. So there we go. The penetration of standard shells only 144. So not surprising that he bounced that shot there. Going to come around the other side of the rock. Still got to be careful because that Jagdpanzer is still lurking on the left-hand side there. So don't really want to just present him with an easy target. Not really sure where this Chi-Ri's gone. Should have spotted him by now. There he is there. Not quite got the gun depression to be able to come around the corner and keep his cannon on target. But just having a little look towards the Jagdpanzer to kind of fend him off. But it looks like he's actually getting shot from the rear now. Able to get a good hit on him without him returning any damage whatsoever. So, nice first kill there from Royal Ordnance. Not quite able to get any damage through the front of that 30-01 there. Yeah, front armor proving a little bit too thick. Able to find a weak spot there, though, and eliminate him with another shot. And that's kill number 2. There's another 30-01 in the distance over there. Oh, very nice shot. A little bit unfortunate not to be able to take him out, but still gets a good hit. And that looks like it's pretty much the right flank all sewn up with Royal Ordnance leading the charge now. He's going to allow his tanks behind him to get into sniping positions, and it looks like he's going to come up into an advanced position here and get shots through their sides. Looks like most of them looking in a different direction. Just took a quick shot at that Type T-34 there, but unfortunately faded away just as he took the shot, so that one missed. That one just skimmed over his back plate as well. But like I said, they're looking to defend from that left-hand side there, from the right-hand flank where everybody else is coming from. So they're not really paying attention to Royal Ordnance coming in from the side here. Able to take out the Type T-34 after bouncing a couple of his shots. The Panther looks like he's just YOLOing, and this is probably going to cost him dearly. Just having a quick look to the right to make sure he's not offering an easy shot for anybody else. So yeah, the Panther really just not aware of his surroundings here and just rushing in without really considering what's going on. And with him being top tier, really couldn't afford to do that for his team. Getting himself eliminated so easily there. So that is kill number 4 now for Royal Ordnance. Just got to be careful with his KV-1S. Although it is the predecessor of this tank, with that cannon it is still able to wreck your day. Has a shot at that Jagdpanther, but misses. Looks like the Jagdpanther's actually... Is he looking at... I couldn't decide whether he'd been tracked or whether he's looking at somebody else. I think he's probably looking at somebody else, as he's not really tracking Royal Ordnance here. So just going to be able to easily flank around the back of that Jagdpanther, even though he got taken out by someone else. KV-1S looking over on the opposite flank. Just one more shot, and that is kill number 5. So the team's really been able to just wreak havoc on this flank just by using the terrain to their advantage, staying in hull down positions and just having 1 or 2 tanks advance forward, like Royal Ordnance here. Very nice kill on that Tiger 1 there, picking up kill number 6, and with it his Top Gun medal. So yeah, the team just doing a fantastic job of moving down that right-hand flank, using the terrain for cover, and just dissecting and dismantling the enemy team there. Looks like there's an IS who's done not really very much in this game, has decided to go for a cap instead, even though they've pretty much just got this one all won and all sewn up. Had a quick shot at the enemy tanks coming in, considering they may not have time to take them all out thanks to the selfish IS continuing that base capture. So he's going to try and flank himself around the back here, see who he can take out. Gets a critical hit on that IS so that he can't traverse his body. Takes out that KV-13 from the rear while nobody's really paying attention. There's a KV-1 with that derp cannon. So done a fantastic job of just keeping the KV-1 between himself and that IS. And then in fact that IS does finally have a shot, but it bounces on the side armor. and that is a monster 8 kills for Royal Ordnance, showing off his skills with the KV-13. So absolutely awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a like or favourite. Stick a comment in the comment section below letting me know exactly what you thought. If you're not already, then please consider hitting that subscribe button for more content like this in the future. I have been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.